like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it, dog, like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, I can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close, been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a mill, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Told him come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
at the night. All I wanna do is love, I don't wanna fight. Why you coming at me telling me to get in line? I can see the pride coming up out your eyes, I'm not surprised. How can I do this? You sound like Judas, confide in the jeweler. I see mountain trying to move her, you live for the moolah. That's kinda cooler, frying the noodles. You pray to Buddha, I bow to Yeshua, I ain't that foolish, no. I've been on the road too long, the Pro Tools broke, but folks need hope. They got anxiety, but cope with dope. Why you think they listen to NF? Why you think we go to service, never hear the message? Attention span gone, the Instagram one. We give the bread off for likes to get on. We build a kingdom, but where was God's son? I don't need no spot at your table, I'm here to see his will done.
Holla, 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 don't forget about the game, yeah. If it ain't about progression, better get it out my face. And show by your aggression, but we running our whole race. You can't stop the blessing, film, just get up out of the way. We don't need no spot at your table. My team versus your team, you can't be my stable. We don't need no spot at your table. My team versus your team, you can't be my stable.
I used to call people and they never call me back. Now they hit my phone like the minute they hear me rap. Oh no, I ain't with the nonsense. I'm a pilot, you a punches. Y'all are not my friends. Yeah, I'ma run this race at my own pace. At my table, always say grace. Holy Father up in heaven, yeah, that's how we pray. You need faith to please God. Reach out, reroute your way of thinking. What if I told you that you were dated like Pinkett? If I drove a Lincoln, would you think so different of me? Hope a Bentley and identity would never coincide. I think the enemy would try to catch with something flashy running by. Yeah, they want a piece of the pie, but I'm not willing to divide unless I give it the tithe. Y'all be acting so divine, more like hypocritically. If Jesus came up to your table, would you give him a seat? You act so famous. When all of that glory belong to Jesus, our Savior. Don't speak, just save it. I'll break bread for ages, cause my table consists of J. Crumb and Fameless.
Holla, 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 don't forget about the game, yeah. If it ain't about progression, better get it out my face. And show by your aggression, but we running our whole race. You can't stop the blessing, film, just get up out of the way. We don't need no spot at your table. My team versus your team, you can't be my stable. We don't need no spot at your table. My team versus your team, you can't be my stable.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What is going on, Mafia? We got an amazing show for you tonight as Bitcoin kind of pulled back a little bit, came down to some key levels. I actually have it taken a little bit of a scalp long with the premium Discord here. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But in today's live stream, guys, I want to talk about the possibilities of coming to higher prices before we get another dip to the downside. Are we more likely to see $67,000 before a dip, or are we looking to see that dip before we come up to that POC, which is the level that's sitting at 67,000? So I want to talk about those scenarios, and I want to talk about some more bullish signals, guys, that could potentially be pointing to higher prices, potentially all-time highs, and maybe even beyond. And then we're going to talk about that wall that may be sitting in between us and those all-time highs. And hopefully, there is a chance that we smash it, guys. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to take a little bit more of a look at the bullish case. But with all that being said, don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some free chance or extra chances to win some free crypto on tomorrow's live stream, which, just a warning, guys, probably going to be a short live stream tomorrow, not tonight. Maybe tonight, too. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But, guys, we got Hannah King in the chat making an epic return to the CandleMafia. The princess of the CandleMafia is back. What is going on, Hannah? Thank you for being here. And shout out to Martina. Martina, I saw you in the chat. We did a Frankie with no hat live stream last night. We didn't see you in there. So we're just going to do it again. Here we go. We're going hat off for another live stream here, guys. But, yeah, let's see who else we got in here. We got JP in the chat. Tim Candles fan, what is going on? Shout out to you, bro. He said like number 40 is his. By the way, guys, there is a limited time offer on these likes. They are going to be free for probably the next 6 minutes. So make sure you get your free like in there. We got Bitfrog in the chat. Harry Potter, what is going on? Creighton C. Mike Vito, my paisan, what is going on, bro? We got Elite Ways EZ, what is going on? And K Diggity, shout out to the GOATs. What is going on, K Diggity? Thank you for being here, bro. And we got Mark Dutch. We got everybody in here. There we go. Shout out to Martina. There you go. There's the hat-free Frankie Candles here. I'm not going to lie, though. I think the hair looked a little better yesterday when the barber did it. But anyway, shout out to Martina. And last but certainly not least, we got Melissa. What is going on, Melissa? And Melissa, again, shouting out Hannah King and the Godfather, guys. Go show some love to the Godfather and Jay Gilly while you're at it. But with all that being said, guys, oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. There's 0 left in here. Mrs. Candles. Anyway, guys, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Again, I want to talk about the possibility of coming up a little bit higher here. So let's go ahead and jump right in. That really was empty. I'm not going to lie. I think this one's empty, too. Mrs. Candles. Kind of shoot her out of the studio. Yo, the inhalers in the chat are crazy. Actually, shoot her out of the studio here because she was distracting me. And I asked her to leave and shut the door because she was going to distract me on the intro. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I told you not to come back, but could you please just... you got to do it on camera so the people know you're real. Oh, my God. Thank you, Mrs. Candles. Woo! Low-key smells like a nail salon, not going to lie. She got her nails did today. But anyway, guys, with all that being said, shout out to Hannah King. Thank you for that super chat. Says, when the hat comes off, it's Frankie's way of saying, pay attention. Do not say, I didn't warn you. Shout out to Hannah King. Could not be any more accurate with that. So shout out to Hannah. And Harry Potter says, but you like, buy you like, don't miss it. FOMO, it's on. Shout out to Harry Potter. I think what he's saying is, you're a wizard, Harry. Actually, I think what he's saying is smash that like button, guys. So shout out to Harry Potter. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you, Hannah King, for that super chat. And with all that being said, guys, and shout out to Creighton C's with the... Creighton C's? Multiple C's? Shout out to Creighton C with the super chat. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. He said, Mrs. Candles, hurry. Wheezy needs his booster. Shout out to Creighton C. Oh, God, I love you, bro. But with all that being said... Wheezy's got to get on here to the onto the chart so we can figure out what's going on here with Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. Stream Deck's still trying to bully me here. So here we are, guys, on the Bitcoin chart. Lil Wheezy, shout out to French Toaster. Hey, if you guys want to call me Wheezy, I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that nickname, even though it's a more of a negative connotation than it is for young Dwayne Carter. But anyway, guys, here we are on the Bitcoin chart, and I want to talk a little bit about here on the clean chart here. Let's pull up the daily time frame. And I want to talk about the big, I don't know if we want to call it a debate, but the big question is, are we going to see all-time highs coming in here for Bitcoin somewhat soon? And in my personal opinion, guys, I do think at least coming up to the current all-time highs at about $74,000 could be possible here. But there is one major thing that stands in the way, and we're going to talk about it in just a second. I think most people who have been tuning into the live streams do know what I'm talking about. But are we going to see all-time highs come in here pretty soon? And I do think it is possible, right? We do have some potentially bullish signals, which is going to be that 12-hour and 16-hour money flow, which is pretty nicely curving to the upside here, guys. Excuse me. Curving to the upside here on the 12 and 16 hour. This would indicate, guys, if we got that money flow crossover into the green, which, as we all know, money flow indicates the longer term trend. So if we are going to see that crossover into the green, even if we do get a pullback here, we are going to be, in the context of the 12 and 16 hour time frames, looking for higher lows to be put in before continuing our trend to the upside. So this is definitely possible, right? The only real problem I see with this, well, let me get through the bullish case here first, right? Higher hourly time frame money flow coming up, 12 and 16 hour, right? We also have the 10-hour money flow crossover, but that has already happened, right? But the 12 and 16 hour are actually looking pretty nice. VWAPs are even starting to round off here a little bit, so it's not the worst look ever. But if we actually come up here to the weekly, we also have a weekly green dot printing, or not printing, but it is kind of flashing, right? The thumbnail should probably have more accurately been bullish sign flashing. Tony, don't change it. I'm joking. But it is flashing, right? It's popping on, it's popping off. But we are starting to see this green dot on the weekly pop up here, which could be somewhat of a bullish signal, right? And this could potentially bring us back up to those highs at around $70,000 to $74,000, which we'll talk about the actual key levels I'm watching in just a minute. But this green dot, guys, if this confirms, and even if we look at our money flow here, starting to trend back to the upside, doesn't really look that bad. And oftentimes, I will say, when you see your money flow setting up like this, oftentimes your VWAP will cross over that zero line, giving you that green dot, and your momentum waves could come up here, potentially setting up for a weekly bearish divergence, which we all know doesn't necessarily mean that the bull market is over, but it can give you a significant pullback, just like this little weekly bear div that we had here. I might have said bull div. Weekly bear div that we had here did wind up resulting in a pretty big pullback, but in the grand scheme of things, we still held our bullish market structure, and we were able to put down that higher low and come up to higher prices, right? So I don't want to, it's not like if we come up here and put in the weekly bear div, like it's going to be like a nuke to zero, but that could be kind of the next thing to look at for another retracement to the downside. But in order for that to happen, you would need the impulse and the break of the current highs here. So with all this popping up on the chart, I do think there is a possibility of continuing up to higher prices. Maybe should we talk about bullish targets? I mean, we've talked about them last time we were approaching these levels, but we could probably try to talk about them in a minute. Shout out to Tyler Durden, said AI Frankie. Shout out to Tyler Durden. What do you mean? I am not AI. Tyler, I thought we talked about this. Don't out me in public. Shout out to Tyler Durden. But, guys, can we come up there? Absolutely. I do think it is possible. So you get the weekly green dot, you get the money flow coming up on the higher hourly time frames, and we also have some other things popping up here. If we take a look at the DXY, now, again, I am putting a little less weight on the DXY recently because it hasn't been as tightly inversely correlated to Bitcoin as it has been in the past, but we are starting to see that weekly money flow take a pretty heavy tank to the downside, right? And we all know, right, when we compare this side by side with Bitcoin, pull it up here side by side, bada boom, we'll pull up Bitcoin on this side, and we'll pull up the DXY on this side, both on the weekly time frame. And we could kind of, we have looked at this many times in the past. Anytime that weekly money flow crosses over into the red for the DXY, right, we obviously do wind up seeing big moves to the upside. Like right here, we had a money flow. Well, let me zoom out a little bit more. We had a money flow crossover into the red right here on the DXY. Crossed. You guys can't see it, but just trust me, it's there. Actually, you know what? I could hide myself real quick. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute. Anyway, this money flow crossover into the red here. Come on. This money flow crossover. Oh, what is going on here? Why can't I draw a horizontal line? There we go. Right, money flow crossover into the red right here, right? And that is basically right here. Gives us a massive continuation to the upside. And then we actually came back into the green. It kind of uncorrelated for a minute. But essentially, once you got another crossover right here, you guys can see that, right? Another crossover into the red right here. You get the continuation for that blow off top in 2017. And then eventually, once that money flow came back into the green, right here, right, we wound up going into a big bear market for Bitcoin. And then we came back into the red right here. That was essentially the beginning, right? This little crossover right here was the beginning of the 2021 bull run. And now we are potentially seeing that money flow on the weekly cross back over into the red. And you can see we did have a crossover right here before this. I know it's kind of hard to see here. Let me zoom in a bit. This money flow crossover right here, you can see my cursor on both charts. So this money flow crossover right here on the DXY did wind up resulting in a big leg up for Bitcoin. And then once we came back into the green, that is kind of when we started to consolidate and pull back. And now we are potentially seeing that money flow cross over into the red again. So let me pull my camera back up here. Oh my God, I missed you guys. Let me go ahead and pull up the full chart here. Bada boom. And not only that, guys, but we also do have shout out to Blockchain Backer. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you guys know him. He was taking a look at the Russell 2000. I saw him talking about this the other day, and I decided to take a look at it. If you don't know what the Russell is, basically it's kind of like Total 3, but for the stock market. It tracks about 2,000 lower market cap stocks, right? So it's kind of like when we look at Total 3 to look at the altcoin market, negating all the high market cap stuff like Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. The Russell is very, very similar to that. And let me go ahead and see if we can pull that up. That's the CME. Make sure I pull up the right one here. Bada boom, right? We are starting to see this thing start to get some big moves, right? And this could potentially be good for altcoins because if you wind up backtesting this is kind of what Blockchain Backer was looking at. If you backtest this, very often this is the altcoin market exploding is very, very correlated to the Russell, which makes a lot of sense, guys. We always kind of talk about how obviously we go off the 4-year cycle with the halving. Bitcoin becomes harder to mine, therefore it becomes more rare, creates a supply shock, and that's what creates the push up on Bitcoin. But we always think, right, I always talk about, is it really that halving, or is it really just tied to the traditional finance, tied to the traditional markets? Because every bull market we've seen has basically been in track with the traditional markets pumping, right? Now, whether it, whatever winds up being true, if you're going by both of them or either of them, it kind of tracks either way. Right now, the halving happening and then big explosive supply shocks or supply shocks causing a big explosive move to the upside has worked up until now, right? So it is kind of a provable thing, or at least it's been working so far, but that's also, again, in line with traditional finance. So, if we are kind of using that logic that, Bitcoin is and crypto is just tied to the traditional finances or to traditional markets, I should say, every time we see an explosion here on the Russell, oftentimes the altcoin market will follow. And if we are going to see, and we're trying to take all of this together and come into like a conclusive or a cohesive conclusion, right? Taking all these little puzzle pieces and trying to form a conclusion. Say the Russell pumping, right? People are buying lower cap risky stocks, right? That could potentially be happening now as we have seen a lot of the altcoin charts start to look pretty good with their higher hourly time frame money flows crossing over into the green. 12-hour crossover into the green here on INJ, 16-hour money flow crossover into the green on INJ, and then looking at things like Cardano, even Dogecoin coming up here. Like almost all these altcoins have the same signals that Bitcoin has. So we could potentially see the altcoins start to run here. Obviously, we've been seeing XRP move. Yesterday, we took a look at this as we were able to see XRP move right through our volume profile, right up into that value area high, guys. And where are we getting that pullback from? Right from that value area high. If you are not using the volume profiles in your trading, I do not know what you are doing. Because here you are going from the value area low to the POC, back up to the value area high, and then where are you looking for your shorts? You're looking for them as you are deviating above your volume profile. You get accepted back into the range, and now you're starting to move back down. Absolutely predictable moves here. We talked about these on the live stream since last Friday. But as we start to see this stuff happen, even things like Solana coming up and hitting our targets here, as we held above this POC, we were looking for price to run up into this macro golden pocket, or I shouldn't say macro, I should say local previous golden pocket here. And aligned with the previous value area low of the range. And what happens here, right? Solana runs up into that target, and now we're getting a little bit of a pullback. But after we see the alt start to run, we see the money flow coming up, we see the Russell pumping, and then we see the weekly green dot on Bitcoin. There definitely is an argument to be made that we can blast off at least up to the high of our volume profile, our macro volume profile on Bitcoin, which is sitting up here at about $71,350, right? Basically up towards those all-time highs. So if all this stuff is aligning, right, and we are going to get that green dot, we could potentially see a rip all the way up to that value area high. The one big thing that lies in our way is the thing that we've been talking about every single live stream, and that is this key level right here between the POC and the 786 Fibonacci retracement of this entire move to the downside, right? So if we are going to look, and the other thing, right, not only do we have this key level of resistance, to be honest with you guys, the only reason that I am not just looking at this volume profile, which I am potentially expecting this to happen, but the reason I'm not just blindly looking for this to happen without looking for the bearish case, typically when we get back on top of this value area low, as long as we hold above here, we look to go to the POC and then flip the POC and go to the value area high, just like I showed on XRP. When we looked at it down here on Friday, I believe, we were down over here, ripped back above, went to the POC, went to the value area high. This is typically what we would expect. However, right? However, on Bitcoin, this two-day money flow in the red with the VWAP starting to roll over could be a little bit worrying, right? Even on the 3-day, we see our money flow starting to come back up here, but as this VWAP starts to roll back over, it is a little bit worrying, right? Because if that red dot comes in, the money flow comes back out, we may be looking to put in a little bit of a lower high here, or I shouldn't say a little bit, but a macro lower high up at this level to potentially get a much, much, much bigger push to the downside, potentially targeting some lower prices in the 50,000s. But again, to be quite honest with you guys, the more I look at the chart, I'm definitely not like saying I am just looking up, right? This is still definitely a possibility. The information is still there on the charts. Factually, this is not my opinion, right? The money flow is coming out on the lower time, on the 2-day, right? Technically, the good thing here is locally, it is coming up, right? But once that VWAP rolls over, you have to think ahead a little bit, right? That VWAP rolls over. Now, this could take some time, but once that VWAP rolls over, crosses over the zero line, gives us a red dot, are we going to see that money flow come back into a bigger red wave? That is kind of the big thing that we need to watch. Because if all those bullish puzzle pieces that I just went over are all lining up and we can get that 2-day money flow to skirt back into the green, like I think there are, let me come back up to XRP, like even XRP, maybe XRP potentially, yeah, no, I forget what altcoin we were looking at. There was an altcoin the other day that we looked at that was starting to cross over into the green. Maybe we see the alt start to front run that. I wouldn't expect it. But that's really the big thing that I'm watching, right? If we can get that money flow back in the green, that would be a good sign that we may not put the lower high in here, and then we could just simply look up to the value area high and potentially beyond, especially with that weekly trigger wave looking to print here, right? With that green dot looking to print with that trigger wave. So, and then on top of that, guys, when we just look back at what we've seen in this entire bull market, what we've really been seeing, again, we talk about this many times, big leg up, consolidation, wash the lows, another big leg up. Consolidation, wash the lows, big move up. Consolidation, wash the lows, big leg up. Consolidation, wash the lows. Are we just going to see that trend continue? I do think it's possible, right? I'll be honest, like looking at this, it's almost like, God, I feel like it'd be like a nice to bet against that just because it's like, how many times in a row is that going to hit? But, this is what you see in a bull market, right? Like you just see moves up. And that is exactly how you long the bottom every single time. Oh, wait, did you guys just lose me for that whole thing? I just gave my secret strategy on how to long the bottom every single time. I'm just kidding, guys. What is going on? We're back. I literally just lost power. There's apparently hurricanes happening or tornadoes or something. But yeah, you can't take down Frankie Candles. Not even Mother Nature can do that because I got the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water to keep me alive, baby. Pump it. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm going to try to get back to where we were. What were we talking about here? Talking about the DXY, talking about the Russell, talking about the weekly. We were talking about the roadblocks, unfortunately, is what we were talking about. So as we take a look here, guys, I'm just going to jump right back into it. With that kind of consolidation, run the longs here, continuation to the upside. Same thing right here, consolidation, burn out all the longs, get another rip up. Same thing here. We talk about this every day, right? Consolidation, wash out the longs, another big leg up. Same exact thing right here, right? Consolidation, wash the longs, big leg up. Are we going to see this continue to play out here? I do think there's at least a possibility of it. Really the only thing, right? I would probably argue really the only thing that isn't pointing towards that happening is that 2 and 3 day money flow. But with where we are in the market, guys, as we talk about, a lot recently, with where we are in the actual 4-year cycle, it is possible to see these money flows fake back out into the green and give us that rip to the upside. So really what I'm looking at, guys, is if we can get, clipping. Oh, my microphone reset. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you for that, Tony. Yeah, thanks, guys. My clipping, just instant. Okay, yeah, that should be better. We should be better now. I could even probably lower it a little bit more here, but that should be good. But that is what we're looking at, right? If we do continue to come up here, guys, this is your key level of resistance. And again, we came up to our golden pocket weekly naked point of control here. Came up to this golden pocket weekly naked point of control. It did give us the pullback. But if we can get above this, I do think we can wind up coming back up to reach this POC/786 Fibonacci level, between 67K and about $68,000. This is typically where we bring up the liquidation heat map, but obviously ExoCharts is no longer open, so I'm going to have to open it right now. Let's see. Shout out to Creighton C said, I don't get the fear of tornadoes. It's just wind. Hurricanes are just water. Pfft, take a shower every day. Now volcanoes, those I get. It's why I avoid Hawaii. Shout out to Creighton C. I've never been to Hawaii either. But let's go ahead and take a look here. What is going on with ExoCharts right now? Hold up. Let's pull up. Okay. ExoCharts is broken. Interesting. What is up with that? All right. Well, maybe we won't take a look at high block. Did that just like break my computer? Hang on one sec, guys. Let me everything okay? All right, there we go. I got it. Okay, so if we go ahead and pull up the liquidation heat map, we showed this yesterday. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay, so if we take a look at the liquidation heat map, guys, obviously right above us is a whole lot of liquidity. And shout out to Vinny from High Block was saying if you zoom in all the way here, you can actually see the metrics for the liquidity at each level, which is super, super, super cool. Yeah, that's super cool. But if we zoom in here, guys, you can see, right, that liquidity is indeed sitting right above us, right? So, price does like to get gravitated towards these hot spots of liquidity. Can we see a potential run into these highs, a liquidation event, which at this case, right, like basically the way I am handling the markets right now, guys, is like I said, I am scalp long here, basically from the value area low. If we are able to come up, take these highs, potentially look for a move into this zone, I will be looking for shorts up here, right? It doesn't mean that I know it for a certain fact that we're going to come back down, and break the lows here and come back down to 51, 52K. We are definitely at risk of that coming up into this level. Regardless of my feelings or what I want to happen, that is simply just the situation that we're in right now. So we have to at least entertain that possibility. But in my opinion, guys, if we are able to continue up here and break these highs, there's a good possibility that we come take that liquidity where we can then finally look for some short setups here to either look for a scalp before continuing back up, or that little scalp short may be able, especially if we get a nice little swing failure pattern here, could wind up being, turn into a swing if we wind up getting that bigger move down. But this, in my opinion, is this along with the 2 and 3 day money flow coming out, is the only thing really standing in our way of getting a bigger move to the upside. If the money flow on the 2 and 3 day did not look the way it looks, I would just be looking at this as a simple POC. I would definitely be looking at this as, hey, get above the low, hold the low, look to go to the POC, flip the POC, look to go to the value area high. The only reason I am paying so much attention to these levels is of resistance right here. The only reason I'm paying such close attention to that is simply because it's the 786 retracement where we know lower highs are likely to come in. And with that higher time frame money flow coming out, we could potentially anticipate, right? Like, what are you looking at on Market Cypher when you see money flow coming out here, not on the 16-hour, but on the 2-day? Or even the 3-day if this continues out. If we do wind up seeing that money flow cross over, you're going to be looking at any pump to the upside to be lackluster push up, right, to put in a lower high and then continue back to lower prices, breaking structure to the downside. And that's just what you would anticipate if money flow was coming out on the 3-day or 2-day, which it technically is. But again, if we can push up here with where we are in the market, take that liquidity and not get a harsh rejection, we could potentially see that move up to higher prices because there are a lot of bullish puzzle pieces. This is why I was saying yesterday and the day before, kind of leaning, I would say I'm cautiously bullish is exactly how I would explain my sentiment right now. I've been saying I'm kind of neutral, which is somewhat true, just because I could kind of see both of these scenarios playing out. And with the signals that we're getting, there's a pretty good argument for each side, right? All those bullish signals are pretty good arguments, right? We have liquidity above, and if we pull the heat map back up, guys, not only do we have the liquidity up here, but we also have a good bit of liquidity if we pull up the higher time frames. We actually do have once we take that liquidity, this is kind of just local liquidity, right? Let me actually screenshot this real quick. Whoops. Bada boom. Just so I can draw on it real quick. Right? So, this local liquidity is that liquidity sitting just above us at about $67,000 to $68,000. We may come up, run that liquidity, and then look for a pullback, right? That's where I'm going to be looking for my next short. But if we run that liquidity and we just start continuing up towards that value area high, this is where it gets pretty exciting because we also have a lot of liquidity sitting up here above $74,000, right? So we start taking that liquidity. It could start a short squeeze to the upside, right? Which could push us to higher prices, potentially, above $74,000, maybe into that $80,000 to $81,000 level, which is my next target to the upside. We've talked about this in the past. I haven't brought it up too much recently, just because, there's really been no reason. This is kind of the first day where I'm looking at the charts being like, maybe we should look at the upside targets. But we'll probably go over that a little bit more tomorrow. So that's what it is, guys. Like, this is the last line of defense for the Bears to potentially put that lower high in and get a bigger pullback. But can we see that POC come in? I do think it's possible, and I do even think all-time highs is possible. But if we come on down here, one thing I will look at, we'll kind of look at the shorter term now. That's kind of our macro analysis, right? Because if we are going to break those highs, sure, it might get kind of volatile here. We might range around, come down a little bit, and then finally take that liquidity, and we'll get the answer to the question. But, just more locally, what do I think is likely to happen here? Well, looking at the daily time frame, we have the VWAP coming down, looking for a red dot. On top of that, we have the 90-minute money flow actually cruising out pretty good here. So like I said, I am in a scalp long here. But once we see that daily red dot print, if this 90-minute money flow crosses over into the red, that may be able to, if this 90-minute money flow crosses over, it might start a bigger move to the downside because it is lined up with that red dot on the daily. And if that money flow crosses over, it might be the thing to start the bigger move down. And in that case, right, I would probably expect to get stopped out, right? I would stop myself out of this short, out of this long for a loss, right? Small loss, obviously. And then, honestly, if we don't SFP these lows here, if we don't hold these lows here, there's really not much below us until we get down into about, between 61 and, $58,000, right? 58.8, 59K. I would say between 60 and 59K, this little pocket is kind of that next level of support. And if we pull up that VPVR, you can see pretty much supported by the low volume gap. And if you guys remember, last time we were looking at low volume gaps, we were literally able to prepare the Mafia for this big drop to the downside. So nobody was scared, and they just looked at this as, hey, if we lose these lows, we're probably going to get a quick drop to the downside, and that is exactly what we wound up seeing because we had that volume gap. And very similarly, right, we can look at the local volume here and potentially anticipate the same thing, right? If we do not hold these lows, well, let me turn off these levels real quick. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, right? And then we zoom in a little bit closer here, right? You could see the local, come on, volume. There you go. Locally, if we lose these lows, pretty big volume gap here, right? All the way down to about like I said, $61,000 where we had an old tapped naked point of control, but there's also a high volume node here. So between about, 60,900 all the way down to, 60,000 and then 58.9 or 58.8 are kind of the next two key levels of support, right? Under $61,000. But we do have this gap down here. So if we start losing this range and we can't continue to push to the upside here, I would expect to lose these lows. Again, if we don't get that SFP or something like that, or a long setup down at the range low, could look for that move down through that low volume gap, attacking that high volume node, this daily naked point of control, as well as this daily naked point of control. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. We are definitely at danger right now. Like I said, I am scalp long here. But again, with the way money flow in the 90-minute looks, the reason I am long here locally, it was basically, not basically, but simply based off the idea that we had these 15-minute bullish divergences into this macro value area low, right, of the macro range at 63.3. And it is also, let me just pull up the, I'll just pull up the premium chart here real quick. Because this is the actual setup that I was looking at, right? 15-minute bullish divergences. And I mean, this is the second day in a row, just like snipe it. Oh, there we go, baby. Play out live. Play out live. Let's go. We peaked on the, we had to check on the trade. It just started moving a little bit. It's like, oh, God, they're watching. Do something. Act normal. But as I look here, looking at not only the macro value area low of the larger range, but also just this local range, right? The idea of this trade is simply just, a value area trade, right? We come down to the value area low, and this is good for anybody who might be interested in really starting to take trading seriously, or maybe you're looking to get into the premium Discord. This is the kind of trading that we do, right? As we look for the bigger moves and the bigger swing trades and stuff like that, we do like to kind of day trade these local ranges. And simply put, when we trade the volume profiles, you come down to that value area low. And shout out to Querity was saying the kitchen is the place to be. Querity, let me know in the chat, are you in this trade? Let me know. Not that anyone should ever copy my trades, whether you're in the premium or not. Never copy my trades. It's not financial advice, guys. I am just a lunatic screaming on YouTube. So please, never financial advice. Please be careful with your money. Trading is very risky, and but it's also, if you can figure it out and control your emotions and become disciplined and take your money off the table when it's there, it could be also one of the most freeing things ever, right? But yeah, let me know, Querity. Are you in this trade? It made me think that when you said that the kitchen is the place to be. The kitchen is a premium Discord, by the way. But we just simply came down to this value area low, bullish divergence on the 15-minute. Now, there was a little bit more that went into this trade. Came down to key support, lower lows on our price action, higher lows on our momentum waves. This was also popping up on the 30-minute. To be honest, money flow was not too confluent with this. However, at this time, as we came down to that 15-minute bull div, or as we came down to that low with that 15-minute bull div, we also had some green dots looking to print on the 1 hour, the 90-minute, which is still printing, and then that 2-hour VWAP, 3-hour VWAP, 4-hour VWAP is coming up, right? So this would potentially give us an ebb or flow, right? These green dots typically give us ebbs or flows to the upside, the noise in the market. So we would anticipate, get out of here, malware bites. I don't even use you. If we do get that, right, I would be a little cautious with this. The idea here is if we were to shoot up and take that high, that is kind of the final TP for me. But I am also being very cautious at some other specific levels here to potentially get, right, if this money flow is going to continue out here on the 2-hour and the 1 hour, the idea off these green dots is a lackluster push up before putting in a lower high and continuing down. And this would be a little bit more confluent with that 90-minute money flow crossover with the daily red dot, right? Maybe we come up a little bit, we put in a lower high, red dot prints, 90-minute money flow crosses over, and then we get the bigger drop down before we see that $67,000 level. But if we rip up, we're at least in this scalp long to rip up into those levels where you can see we also have some daily horizontals sitting up there as well. So there you go, right? Nice little scalp starting to play out a little bit more there. Can't complain about that. Let's just watch this 7-minute money flow coming into the green here as well. And another thing that had a lot to do with the entry on this trade, guys, was the order flow analysis, right? There were a few very, very, very specific things that I saw here to take that trade. I'm not really even going to go over them just because it'll take too long to kind of explain, because I know a lot of people are not used to seeing the footprint charts, and it'd take a long time to explain all this stuff. But we talk a lot more about this in the premium Discord. In my opinion, this is the real edge that we have in the market, is looking at the footprint charts. But with that being said, we'll see if this continues to play out. Shout out to the kitchen or the premium Discord. as some people call it. Shout out to you guys. Let's see. Shout out to DJ Matt Matt OD says, "What's poppin', Frankie? You think we'll get a rip before elections?" And that's typical of election years, right? Typically, it is bullish for markets, just basically to be like, "Oh, look, the president made the economy really good," and they just kind of like sneak it in last minute. So it is typically good for markets during election year, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens, right? History does not always rhyme. It doesn't always rhyme or repeat, but it oftentimes rhymes. Shout out to Origin Trader said, "Frankie, loving the hair, bro. Let me know what you think about Matic." Shout out to Origin Trader. I actually wanted to talk about Matic today. So if you guys want to go ahead and see some of your altcoins, drop them in the chat. Rob the Crypto Snob will count the votes and let us know which ones we're looking at. Shout out to Darren Does Things. What is going on? Darren says, "I missed the long." Oh, well. Shout out to Darren Does Things. Never, ever feel bad about missing positions because when you miss a position, you don't lose any money, right? You miss out on gains maybe, but that's only if the trade works, right? So shout out to Darren Does Things. I know you're not sweating that. Let's see. Bada boom. Bada bing. All right, yeah, drop those altcoins in the chat. Nice fade, Frankie. Shout out to Hodl Crypto. Thank you, brother. Creighton C says, "Typical election year is July finishes strong. August is slightly positive. September has an average pullback of 2%. And October is go time, or Uptober as they'd like to call it." Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for that, bro. I'm actually going to pin that. That's some good information right there. I'm going to go ahead and pin that up there for anybody curious. So there we go. All right, so let's go ahead. I want to take a quick look at Ethereum, guys, and then we're going to jump into some of these other altcoins. Mikey 20 wants Solana render near. Okay, not bad, not bad. I like it. I like it. And I know Rob was not here yesterday. He may not be here today. Shout out to Rob. I'm sure he's fine. But yeah, maybe we'll just take some requests, or maybe Crypto Billy or Tony wants to do it. Rob quit again. Shout out to Tyler. Who wants to do alts tonight? Yo, shout out to Tyler Durden. Should we just let the Mafia do alts? Let's do 3 requests. I mean, I don't care. Tyler, if you want to like pick somebody and then you just kind of highlight just chat me and highlight their alts, and we could take it from somebody. And I'll take some requests too. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on COQ. We could take a look at COQ real quick. I just want to check in on this real quick. Oh, okay. It's not at 0 yet. I do own some COQ. Nice little potential wonked out head and shoulders here with a super pointy head, but we don't judge body styles here. Interesting. I do not recommend making your measured moves like this. This is super wonky. Interesting. But yeah, I do own some COQ, so I wouldn't mind if this thing pumped. But you won't catch me up here shilling it like a scammer, like most people do. But if you buy this, it's super risky, guys. It's a meme coin. Although I would have every reason in the world to try to pump this, but I will not. But yeah, I do want it to go up. Weekly green dot, that could pump it, right? With meme coins like this, sometimes they don't really trade the most technically. So they're kind of hard to call here. We have a lot of TA on this. Let me pull off some of these fibs, clean up the chart a bit. Let's take off all these levels. This is all old. Come on. Get out of here. Come on. There we go. All right, yeah. So, I mean, beautiful example of like finding previous balance, right? We had this previous value area down here, and then once we wound up getting imbalance in the market, price went down and hunted out that balance as you would expect. We slipped it pretty heavily there, but there you go. So, at this point, just very simply, I'm not going to do full analysis here, just because. Basically will be full analysis. But, if we do wind up continuing to the upside, I would assume, right, you would have to expect that you're probably going to hunt out this value here, even though this value area, I would think this is your next target, right? We'll call it 2160 to the bottom of this range. And then once you get back up in here, you might range around a little bit. And I would actually this might be a little bit more of a tangible range to look at because this is pulled from very far away. So what I would look at is something like this, right? And then you have your value area high, your POC, and your value area low, right? So you rip up above here, get some imbalance to the upside, likely a volume gap here. I can tell that there is, right? Because you have quick move up, quick move down, right? Quick move down. So I would assume that if we were looking at volume, I'm going to assume the volume profile would look something like this, right? right? And then a higher volume here, and then probably a pretty big fall off in volume there, and then a bigger pull up in volume here. That's kind of how I would assume the volume would pop up here. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, to kind of heighten the chances of that being the case, I'm going to take off that old price action. Let's see. Let's see how close we can get it. That's the RSI. That's not what we wanted. Oh my God, we were so close. We were so close, guys. But yeah, very simply put, there's your gap, right? Very not that that's super hard to do either, but could expect some quick moves once you get above this level here at about 2022. Could see a quicker move up to that value area low, look to get accepted into the range, and then go back up to the high. Very similar to what we saw with over here on XRP, right? We were building value down here. We got imbalance, and then we hunted out that old balance. Actually, Myro is one of the coins that actually just did that perfectly, very, 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 very cleanly. You have your value down here. You build that value. You had your previous value up here. And in the premium Discord, we were saying, hey, if you get the breakout here, very likely you come back into this range, and Myro will likely respect that previous range. And look where it is right now. Right? This is very important, especially if you want to learn to trade, guys. These volume profiles and auction market theory is absolutely overpowered, right? And then you start to combine that with your TPO profiles, your footprint charts, your order flow, all that kind of good stuff. And we actually took a look at this on the live stream the other day, talking about how, you hunt out that previous balance. And we even said, hey, well, watch it. Price is probably going to respect this range. I think what was yesterday? Yesterday was Wednesday. So we were playing around in here saying, hey, maybe we'll respect the range. And here you are, right? Just finding balance within that previous value area. Very, very common thing. This is oftentimes how we can predict. This is how we do predict a lot of the moves in the market, right? It's based off all these volume profile theories, right? Bada boom. Balance. If you find imbalance, where's price likely to go? If you find imbalance to the upside, very likely you're going to shoot through that low volume gap, which we know is very likely here. And we're going to go hunt out the next area of balance or that next high volume node. More simply put, right, you could just look at the profiles and say, hey, where the high volume nodes are, price will stick to. And then when you break into the low volume gaps, we know we get quick moves. And where's price going to gravitate to? Right back to those high volume nodes. It's the same thing, right? But without the volume profile, you can just look at the actual value areas to kind of predict that stuff. So anyway, that was kind of a random tangent. But for COQ, I'm looking to get back into that previous range. Let me get these lines off my face real quick. Bada boom. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue on here for Ethereum, guys. As you know, we were looking to come up into that key resistance level here at the Golden Pocket POC, which was at about $3,500 even. And this is a key level of resistance. And I would like to actually pull up ETH on the footprint chart real quick. Let me pull up the ETH USD. Let's see. Shout out to Andrew Cameron. What is going on, brother? Good to see you in here. Matic Algo Link, Origin Trader. I like those. Is there a yearly option for the premium Discord? Yes, there is. Shout out to KD. Shout out to you, brother. Yes, there is a yearly option. Oh, shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Hang on one second here, guys. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Thank you for gifting those 5 Frankie Candles memberships. I missed a lot of these super chats and gifted memberships, guys, because of that whole power thing. Shout out to Golden, yo. Shout out to Golden. Broken chair, day 372. The squeaking has stopped completely. Hydraulics gave 4 months ago. Its final days are now. Complete failure expected soon. Yo, shout out to Golden. It's like he's like stranded in space, like writing a diary, like, it's day 373. The rocket boosters are out of gas. Shout out to Golden, bro. I love that. And yes, this is chairs on its final days, guys. New chair tomorrow night. Stick around. Shout out to Hannah King. Said when the hat comes off, Frankie's. Oh, shout out to. We did read that. Shout out to Hannah King. Welcome back. We're happy to have you. Okay, so we didn't miss any of these. Okay, I thought I missed more of these. But shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Thank you for gifting those 5 Frankie Candles memberships. Thank you to Hannah. Thank you to Martina, and thank you to Hannah again for the memberships. Appreciate you guys so much. But if we continue on here, let's see, bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so let's take a look here at ETH on the order flow. Let's see on the footprint charts here. So yeah, interesting. So yeah, I do think we can break this high potentially, right? Same thing with same thing as Bitcoin, right? So looking here, if we are even looking at the 4-hour, right? Same thing as Bitcoin. If we are going to get another move up here or another push to the upside here, which which nice. We are getting a little push up here. Okay, didn't come up that much more. But if we take a look here, guys, if we are able to crack those highs, right? I'm not going to pull up the heat map right now just because it's going to take a long time for it to load and everything. But, if we are able to pump here, would have been a nice short here from 3,500. I did not take the short here at 3,500, so I'm not FOMOing in here. But if we can continue up here at some point, guys, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. 4-hour money flow. Yeah, if we get another 4-hour green dot, I would potentially look for something like this where you come take these highs, put in a 4-hour bearish divergence, and then maybe we get a bigger correction before finally filling the whole range. Now, this is obviously super speculative. It's going to be extremely hard to just guess exactly how price will move, but kind of locally here, if we could get that 3-hour green dot, the 2-hour green dot's already printing, if we can get this, right, and we don't just come up to put in a lower high, which we've already done here from this pull, right? Put in, right, high, low, pull your fib. 786 is likely where the rejection will happen. You come right into that 786, boom, big drop to the downside. If we pull the current fib here, chances of a reaction here between about 34.43 and 34.62 is somewhat likely, or if you are going to get a lower high and just to continue down from here, where we are now, that's probably where you're going to get the rejection. But if we could break above this, right, if we can get above these levels and take these highs, potentially print a 4-hour bear div, that would be kind of a stronger confirmation to get a bigger pullback for me, right? Now, I'm not bearish, right? I'm not saying I'm bearish. I'm saying local pullback because, to be honest, as long as Ethereum remains above this value area low, and I would actually call it this golden pocket value area low. Golden pocket value area low 786. This is where, as long as we can hold this level, right, I would anticipate I would be looking for longs down here. It's not until we wind up losing this range decisively where I think we could come down into this lower area of balance and come down to much lower prices, right? Coming into $2,900. But as long as we can hold above these lows here, I would be looking for higher lows on Ethereum before it pushes up to higher prices. But the question is, are we going to get the local rejection and come down, or are we going to come up, put in the 4-hour bear div, and then come down? In my experience, this is the saucier setup. Just giving away some freebies here on the Frankie Candles live stream. So there we go. Maybe we'll find out right now if we're going to get that local rejection. We'll see what happens. Man, that weather is crazy. It is sunny AF now. Just no more storms. It's all gone. Hey, shout out to PHX. What is going on, bro? Elite Ways EZ said Frankie took off the hat but needs glasses. Yo, shout out to Elite Ways. Don't tempt me with a good time. Guys, should we just switch the style up 100% here? Should we just go full nerd? Should we just go full geek right now? I don't mind it, guys. I'm a nerd at heart. If you saw me, you may not think so, or maybe you would. I don't know. But we could play the part here. We just need some tape on these things. Just put some tape on these. We're just going full nerd right now, guys. I'm going full nerd. Let me just clean these real quick. I have not worn these glasses in close to a year, but we're bringing them back. We're bringing them back for old time's sake. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to you. Shout out to Conscious Dev says, put them on. We're going to do it. We're doing it. But yeah, guys, we took a look at Ethereum. That's what I'm looking at for the most part here. Other than that, kind of looking very similar. What is there? Oil on this cloth? It's just making them blurrier and blurrier. About to clean it with my shirt. Oh, yeah. I feel nerdier. This is great. All right. All right, continuing on here. I had a new idea for a segment. Shout out to Dave Hagan. Says, Frankie's flash analysis, 30-second look at a few alts. Shout out to Dave Hagan. I do not hate that. I actually kind of like that. Just quick run through, maybe 5-10 alts. Just run through 30 seconds on each one. I don't hate that. I do not hate that. Shout out to V Peoples. Says, I'm going over all educational info from your gifted memberships this weekend when everything calms down before the storm called before the storm called next week, will I be able to get on your Discord with the membership? Shout out to V Peoples. We have 2 Discords, right? We have a free Discord. I could just show this real quick. Let me pull up my face cam here real quick. Bada boom, right? So let me go ahead and pull. All right, let's just. Bada boom. Okay, so this is the Discord, right? We have the premium Discord, which is the kitchen, right? This is the paid Discord, right? The links to all this are in the description down below. This is the paid Discord, the kitchen, where we give trade setups, daily TA, daily updates, and then we have, all this stuff, good stuff, right? And then the dining room is kind of the freemium section of the Discord. If you use any of our exchange affiliates, you could come on in here, click what exchange you signed up with our link, click it, type in your user ID or paste your user ID, I assume is probably how it would work. Well, shout out to Tony D. May want to take note of that. We did just fix this bot, so we may have to work out a few more bugs at Tony D. I'm getting an error message here. But this should work when you go to use it. If not, this should be probably up in the next day. But the glasses emojis. But you will be able to click this button and a user ID thing will pop up. You paste your user ID, and that will get you into the kitchen, which is free, right? You use our affiliate link. You'll probably save money with our link because we got discounts and deposit bonuses, stuff like that. So you literally benefit from it, but it'll get you access to the dining room, which is kind of the freemium section. We put one free premium post in this channel, which is oftentimes trade setups or like even here on that last dump to the downside. Like this wasn't, you could consider this a setup, I guess. But we have the daily bull div, right? Looking for a reversal to the upside. This is literally what we're seeing happen right now. So definitely a lot of free value in here as well. So go ahead and check that out. And this is a way you could kind of test the premium without actually having to pay, but you're obviously getting way less content. And then you also get some extra stuff in there. And then we also have the completely free one, right? Like you just sign up, get in, and you can interact with the community. We have a bunch of really good traders in there, people using the same type of analysis that I use. In my opinion, getting into these communities is something that I slept on when I was first learning how to trade. I wish I got into more communities and interacted with people because it's so much easier, right? Rather than looking up videos or looking up something online to learn, you could just ask somebody who's been doing this for a while, like, hey, you've been using Market Cypher B for 3 years, right? What does this mean, right? And then someone could just explain it to you. We can ask follow-up questions, right? And we have an amazing community, like the best community in crypto, hands down. So get in there. We have 3 different options. 2 free, 1 paid. And if you're new to trading, I would even maybe push you towards the free ones first. And then when you're looking to take the step to the next level, you could go ahead and check out the actual paid stuff. So, but yeah, it's up to you. So go ahead and check that out. Tons of free stuff in there. And I guess, you probably naturally progress. Get in the free one, and then you'll kind of feel out where you want to go. All right, let's see. Tony D said try it now. Let's see if it's fixed. Shout out to Tony D. Yep, there you go. So talk about somebody give Tony D a raise. So you just click on the link. Oh, it's broken again, Tony. Oh, okay, so Mexi and Big X don't work. Femex does, though. So there you go. This should be fixed in a few minutes, guys, but you'll just have to put your user ID in there, and you'll get access to all that stuff. But anyway, let's continue on here, see if Ethereum can run into this rejection zone. But let's go ahead and shout out to Tyler Durden. Shout out to Elite Ways. It's picking the altcoins tonight. I'm going to pin that. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Sheep, Crow, and Amp. All right. I like it. Let's check out Sheep. Bada boom. Okay. Oh, baby. It's going to 100,000. It's going to 100,000. Yo, shout out to Elite Ways. Says, hashtag pin Tyler's comment. Shout out to you, bro. Said Clark Kent, son, Clark Kent's son, Super Frankie, Super Candles, let's go. But here we are, guys. This is, I'm not going to lie, guys, Mrs. Candles, when I got these glasses, Mrs. Candles, made me get these, and I low-key hate them. She's like, those are the ones you have to have for the shape of your face. And I'm like, I don't know. They look like the wrong shape for my face, if I had to guess. But anyway, they're way too big for my liking. But anyway, let's continue on here. So on Sheeb, let's see here. Take a look at the daily. All right, so daily red dot, not impossible to cool off here. But I will say, we had a nice back test of the previous value area high, a nice retest of, I don't know, what is this level? Why is this even here? I'm going to get rid of all these too. So you had a nice retest of that value area high, previous value area high sitting at about 1335, right? Obviously, many zeros before that number. But let's go ahead and grab that. Bada boom. So I would say if we are not going to get accepted back into that lower value area, right, and get a much bigger move down, right, we would want to hold this golden pocket 786 retracement, right? So this would kind of be like if we lose that 786 and get below this value area, I mean, I guess your POC is right up your butt. Actually, let me see here. Let me extend this a little bit. To before the breakout. So, yeah, I would actually move this. I'm going to move this down. POC. I'm going to pull a fresh one. There we go. So there you go. This is the range that I would look at below. Bada boom. You have your value area high, POC, value area low. So, yeah, I would say, turn off that lock. That lock is the death of me. Anyway, so, yeah, as long as we hold that 786, I would potentially be looking for longs here. Not here, right? But if we come down into that zone, I would be looking for longs, right? VWAP starting to roll back on the 12-hour, 10-hour VWAP starting to roll back as well. Money flow cruising up to the zero line pretty good on the 16 and 12-hour as well. So we could see that, right? As long as that money flow continues up, even if we came down to that golden pocket, we could look for a reclaim of the value area low into the POC, potentially back up to the value area high. But key level of resistance here, 2058 is your key level of resistance. Key level of support, golden pocket 786 between 1550 and about 1427. So that's what I would be looking at. There, shout out to Tony D. There is the link to join the free Discord. Let's see. You guys are funny, man. Oh, you guys are hilarious. All right, let's continue on. Oh, God. Sometimes I scroll up in chat, and I'm just like, oh, God. Nerd Gang, hashtag Nerd Gang. Shout out to Philly Skills. Let's go. Nerds only, baby. Nerds only. You know, a lot of people hate on nerds, but I will tell you, out of all the rich people I've met, more of them are nerds than not. Let's just say that. Nerds are richer than jocks. That's for sure. That's for sure, guys. But anyway, let's continue on. I'm not actually a nerd, guys. I swear. Don't check on that, though. But anyway, let's continue on here, guys. So anyway, yeah, money flow doesn't look too bad here, right? Like, let me see if we have any nice MPOCs down there. Let me see. Bada boom, bada bing. MPOC. Why did that move? Why is this over here now? Interesting. All right, let's see here. Daily. Let's check the weekly. No, not really. Monthly. Okay, no real key levels. This is basically what I'd be looking at, to be quite honest with you guys. What is going on with my... Hang on a second. Can I move? How do I change the order of these? This is so annoying. I'm so used to doing that. Shout out to Crate C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said, me and Mrs. Candles need to have a talking, Frankie. I hate them, too. Smaller frame. I'm thinking metal. Just not those 1970s Linda Carters she picked out. Yeah, it does make me feel like I'm from the 90s. I hate these, like with a burning passion. They were like $500, too. Oh, God. Anyway, it's the last time I let Mrs. Candles pick out what I wear. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. All right, so, yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on Sheep. Other than that, looking very similar to everything else. Let's take a look at Crow, which was next on the list here. And we will be taking a look at NVIDIA today as well. Because someone asked me to look at that yesterday, and I did not. We have not looked at Crow in years. So let me see if we have a running chart here. Okay, cool. This is all old. We can get rid of all of this. Excuse me. Okay, so, I mean, hey, here we are. I'm going to say it. Can we see a 9 to 10 cent Crow coming up here soon? I think we can if we hold this low. If we hold this low, I think Crow goes for the POC and the value area high, right? Very simply based off of the same thing we've been looking at, right? Previous area of balance. When you find imbalance, price will seek out that previous area of balance and likely respect it, right? So that is what we're going to be looking at, just like we looked at on Miro. It could be a very similar setup here, and same thing with XRP. When XRP was in this situation, we were down here saying, hey, if price continues up, we could come into this range. It's exactly what happened. We jumped right up, flipped the POC to support, and then got a bigger move to the upside, right? But we did wind up coming up into that range. Very, very similar setup here. right? And we are now looking to potentially flip that value area low to support. We hold this low, could go to the POC or the value area high. Pulling up the money flow real quick, same thing, right? Money flow crossover into the green, looking to happen pretty soon here on the 16-hour, God willing. 10-hour money flows in the green with the VWAP coming up. Yeah, so to me, this says more, right? Even just the way these momentum waves are, this says more to me that we're going to do something like that, right? If we are going to get a bigger pullback into maybe some more macro, Fibonacci retracement levels, bada boom. Right, if we're going to pull back into that level, maybe, or even like maybe a little higher up, like if we're going to get that bigger retracement, if we get that green dot first here on the 10-hour, this says to me that we're probably going to put in a higher high first, take those highs, and then get a little bit of a better cool off. But again, as long as we hold those lows, I would be expecting to come up here. And then if we lose these lows, probably going to go for the retracement first. So there you go. And we would set up for a nice little bear dip there as well. Hopefully, I mean, if it happens at the high here, right, if you were to long this, right, not telling you to long this, but if you longed the low and it went to the POC and then the high, and then we wound up getting that higher high on the value area high, that would be a beautiful, beautiful bearish divergence to look for a short, right? Just like on XRP, right? XRP ripped up to the value area high, and everybody, this is the hard thing about being a trader, especially on YouTube, right? If I were talking about shorts up here, everybody comes at you, right? They're like, why would you look for a short? It's ripping. And it's like, I'm not saying I want to short it to zero, right? Like, but this is an opportunity. That's $2,000 for me, right? Like, I'm not going to see that opportunity and not take it, right? So you deviate above the high, and then you can look for the retracement back to capitalize on a short. Could be a very, very similar situation here with Crow if you wind up coming up and putting in bearish signals at the value area high. But other than that, hold this low. I would expect higher. Lose the low. I would look for this retracement. Very simply put. Let's go ahead and check out AMP. Speaking of feeling amped, shout out to the Aztecian Cactus Mosswater. Hey, shout out to Astro Zombie. Said much love, Mafia. Frankie, you the man. Shout out to Astro Zombie. Good to see you in here, brother. Can we take a look at Euro USD? I mean, yeah, sure. We don't usually look at Forex on this channel, but I'll take a look at it for you. We'll take a look at Euro USD. Bada boom. I'll just remember that. Euro USD, we'll take a look at. Yo, Rob the Crypto Snob coming in hot. Frankie Four Eyes and Tony Two Fingers. Shout out to Rob coming in hot. Yo, sounds like a comic book duo. Shout out to Rob, bro. Welcome back, bro. We hope you're doing good. PG-13 chart here. Oh God, what did I draw? I drew something on the chart. Unbelievable. Anyway. Yeah, shout out to Clay the Great. Says, it makes sense for BTC to dump. Conference is a week away. Typically, it does dump. Clay, I 100% agree with you because I've been to, this is going to be my fourth Bitcoin conference. And every single year, people are like, oh, it's going to pump. It always pumps on the conference. And I'm just like, not at anyone I've ever been to. I went to the one, I think it was in 2021, where they announced El Salvador, and it didn't even pump off of that, right? We were just at the top. And, I don't know. Everyone says, oh, it'll probably pump. The conference is coming up, and that has never been a bullish event. Like, I don't know why that would even pump Bitcoin, to be honest with you. It's like, it's not like it's a Frankie Two Shorts. It's not like, I don't know what about the conference makes, like, I don't know. Like even if you had a ton of whales there and they all bought at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of like a weird, I don't know why it would pump on a conference. And it's never been the case, but people just still say it like, yeah, it always pumps on I've been to 3 so far, and it's never pumped. Ever. 2 or 3. This is going to be my 4th conference. 21, 22, 23, and 24. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here with Crow. I mean, that's what I'm looking at for Crow. Let's go ahead and check out AMP. Actually, AMP, not famously, but something that I bought and never made money with. Just bought it at the wrong time, I guess. I don't even remember where I bought or why I bought. But yeah, I bought it last cycle, and it just didn't do much. I just bought it, I held it for a while, and then I sold it, and then I think it ripped and then dumped. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. Take a look at the daily. Yeah, VWAP coming down. I mean, I'll be honest, right? Short term, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Bitcoin's still pumping here. Here's the thing, right? The reason I'm being careful, like I just mentioned earlier, the reason I'm being careful with this long is simply because of that daily red. If that daily red dot prints and that 90-minute money flow crosses over, we might get the bigger pull down. And I'm not talking about the dump with the big lower high, right? I mean, arguably this could be the lower high, right? And now I think it's less likely, right? I'm not saying this is the lower high. I actually think it's less likely that this is the lower high. I'd be more interested to see price come into at least 67 to 68K. But so when I'm called for the bigger pullback here, I really am just talking about, coming slightly below the volume profile, not the big dump to 51 to 52K, just to be clear. Let's see. It never pumps either sideways or down. Doesn't always dump, as they have one every year. Yeah. It's a weak high. Shout out to Creighton C. Yo, Creighton C's been studying, bro. But yeah, actually, I don't know what you mean by that, Creighton. I don't know if you're thinking of the same thing I'm thinking. But yeah, same thing on Ethereum. That's why I am looking for this weak high to get taken on ETH potentially. But again, I'll be honest. Like, there's a good case to be made. Like, for the next big move, there's a good case to be made on both sides. I am gonna say, as the days go on, I do slightly lean a little bit more bullish, but I am cautiously bullish. I am definitely cautiously bullish because I feel like we're the only person that's talking about the possibility of getting a pullback from here. Which I don't know. Usually that means I'm right. But I feel like I've been right too many times in a row with that. Like, every time, like, I'm calling for a pullback, and everyone's like, what are you doing? Everyone else is calling for upside. And I always get a little shaken. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe, like, what are these other people seeing that I'm not seeing? And almost every time I wind up being right. But I feel like I'm probably due to be wrong. Like, I've been right many times in a row. So usually you got to put a loss in there somewhere. So maybe this is going to be it. I don't know. But again, not guaranteeing a pullback here, right? It's going to really depend on the reaction at the level. But, to look at the chart and say that there is zero chance of a pullback here is irresponsible to say on YouTube. I'm sorry. And I don't know, I don't know if people are saying that, but judging off of the comments and some of the chats that we get, it's like I'm wondering, like, who is out there saying that we were 100% guaranteed to pump, because that, although it may be likely to pump, saying it's 100% guaranteed and there's no chance of a pullback here is irresponsible to say to people who are trying to learn, in my opinion, at least, right? There's like always an element of gambling here, right? Even if I was super confident, right? When I put in this scalp long, right, with the premium, when we entered down here, I was, this was actually a little bit more risky, but I entered this trade because I was pretty confident that it was at least going to come up a little bit. There is no reality that exists where I go into my Discord and say, buy here, it is guaranteed to pump. And do you know why? It's because it's a lie. Nobody knows 100% what is going to happen. So that's why that's why I'm a level-to-level trader, because there is no way to predict exactly what is going to happen, right? So when you're going from level to level, you can at least wait for price to interact with the key level and then see if there's an entry to be had. Right? And you're not just, if you're not doing that, right, and you're just saying, like, I feel bullish, we're going to pump, it's gambling, right? So, I mean, yeah. But anyway, yeah, definitely a chance of a rejection here. Doesn't mean we're guaranteed to get it. And if we come up here and it's looking bullish, and like I said, I am starting to tick a little bit more towards the bullish side with the weekly trigger wave, with the way that 10 hours starting to cock back to the upside with these momentum waves. I do think coming up higher may be more likely. But again, once we get up here, I am definitely going to be looking for shorts, because that's the next key level to look for shorts at. All right, let's see. Yo, shout out to Darren Does Things. Says, Frankie, retail is even more bullish now. Check the 4-hour golden cross. Even more reason for retail to get wrecked. Yeah. And I've actually made videos about this. Shout out to Darren Does Things. Golden crosses, death crosses they do, like, I don't want to say they don't work, but you have to understand, like, if you really go back and backtest golden crosses, death crosses, it's like a retail strategy, right? So, like, it's not that easy, right? You can't just wait for two lines to cross and then buy. Now, this would work more, in my opinion, on a way higher time frame. But even that, like, if you guys go back, this is an old video, but, like, even the death cross, right? Let's pull up the death cross real quick. This is a nice indicator. I have nothing to do with these people, but it just marks out the death crosses and golden crosses, right? Let's see here. And you can even just look at this very simply, right? It's pull it up on the daily, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So, well, what do you say? The golden cross on the 4-hour? Yeah. So this is, I mean, listen, oftentimes what happens on these is you get the cross, right? So if it's a golden cross, right, oftentimes you'll get the cross and you'll get another pullback and then price will go up. And I've made a video just going back and back testing this, right? This is not me. And you can go back and test it yourself. So, and it's not that it doesn't work, right? Like it works a lot better looking in hindsight than it does in real life. But yeah, it's it would be a pretty yeah, it's like, I mean, I guess, yeah, it's like cross, downtrend, cross, continuation. But you have to understand, right? In my opinion, right, if you were buying on this cross, you're not buying this, right? You're buying this. And that's if you entered right on the confirmation. But look what happens here if you zoom in enough, right? What happens here, right? Especially people who are leverage trading. You get the cross, you get a dump, and then a push up. But in the grand scheme of things, you should have been looking for shorts up here, not longs, right? And then you would have shorted up here, and then you see the death cross, and you could be like, oh, okay, it's a continuation to the downside. So, yeah, it's definitely – oh, shout out to Tyler Durden dropping the death cross video. Yeah, you guys can go test it. It definitely does play out. I don't want to act like it doesn't work at all. But go watch that video. You can I go back and back test it, and you can kind of see exactly how they behave. So, yeah, not like useless or anything, but, definitely not – if the guys, if it was as easy as seeing two moving averages crossing and just buying, everyone would be rich, right? And there's a reason why retail uses that, right? Because they have that thought, right? They're like, oh, it's easy. Like, it'll just cross, I'll buy, I'll make a ton of money. But there's a reason 99% of retail loses, right? And we're retail too. I'm not saying like we're not retail. But we try to use more more advanced technical strategies to try to trade with the big money, even though we're technically not big money. Even if you have millions of dollars, you need like hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to be big money. That video was 2 years old. Guys, maybe don't watch that. That's probably embarrassing to watch for me. But I'm just kidding. Frank was so young and innocent. Shout out to Tyler. But there is still good information in there. Obviously, the price action's old, but you could still kind of see how much they hit. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. We took a look at Crow. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, yeah, AMP. Kind of got sidetracked with all that stuff. If I could find the AMP chart that we were looking at, that would be just wonderful. I'll find it. Is everything okay? Where is the AMP chart that we were just looking at? Is it the Coinbase chart? Bro, what is going on right now? Binance? There it is. And that's not it either. Was it Bitstamp? Where was my AMP chart, guys? We lost it forever. It's gone forever. Was it the KuCoin chart? I don't know what's going on here. Bear with me. Yeah, did I delete all the TA? What happened there? All right, well, I guess we'll just take a look at this. So for AMP, man, we were kind of running on a roll. We were kind of on a roll with that too. Kind of pissed off now. Where is that chart? It wasn't the Bitstamp chart. Interesting. Well, I guess we'll never know. Is this it? All right, guys, the rest of the stream, we're going to find this chart. Wow, that is frustrating. All right, well, anyway, we'll just continue on here. So for AMP, let's take a look here. Let's come over to the 4-hour. This is such an ugly chart with these wicks. Yeah, I mean, locally, yeah, this is really ugly to pull profiles on. Yeah, it's obnoxious. I'm really mad that we can't find that other chart. Did I accidentally just delete all the TA off of it? Very frustrating. This wasn't it, was it? Sorry, guys. I guess not. Turkish lira. All right. Well, whatever. We'll just continue on with this. I'll delete all these. Bada boom. And we'll take a look here. So let's pull some fibs here from the high all the way to the low. I'm not even going to look at that. Ew. This is an ugly chart. This is just like, I don't know. This is like not something I'd be. I mean, I guess how much lower could it go? It definitely could go lower, but yeah, I mean, let's pull this value area high. Yeah, I guess we don't really have to go back over this. It's kind of just what we were looking at before, right? Came back down, tested that. Okay, so tested the POC value area high. To be honest, guys, this doesn't really even look that good. This it's come down a lot, but it's not like it's looking super bullish right now. I mean, you have a little bull div here on the daily, 2-day money flow, 12-hour money flow. I mean, it looks very similar to the other altcoins. It's just kind of an ugly chart. I will say, if you do wind up coming back up, this is the area I would look at, right? Your next stop would probably be somewhere in here within this value area, coming into the right here at about 0.0069. Could be moving up into there if you could get a pump with that money. If that money flow does cross over into the green, that would be the next major stop, in my opinion, would be sitting right here. But again, like, this is an ugly chart. Money flow will go headed in the right direction, looking the same as everything else. A lot of stuff looks the same right now. But yeah, ugly chart. But real quick, guys, let's go ahead and check out Euro USD. What am I doing? Forex. All right, let's see here. You were Euro USD. Not a big Forex guy, but we could try to do some TA here. Let's check the daily. How does Market Cipher work on... I'm going to take these off for a second. How does Market Cipher work on Forex? Does anybody use... shout out to Darren Does Things. Darren Does Things is the Forex guy. Darren, do you use Market Cipher on Forex? Does it work as good as crypto? Let me know. Can you take a look at INJ? Yes, absolutely. I can take a look at INJ. Take a look at the 8-hour daily red dot, 12-hour, 4-hour. It's weird. It's going to be hard for me not to keep my crypto biases on this. Like I'm like starting to think, I'm like, okay, well, if money flow's coming out here, what's Bitcoin doing? It's like it has nothing to do with it. So let's see, 90-minute money flow crossover. Yo, low key, not looking that much different than crypto. Red dot already printing here. 90-minute money flow crossing over into the red. Now I do want to point this out. I do not typically trade Forex. So again, I am much more familiar with how crypto behaves than Forex. So just keep that in mind. I mean, not that the TA isn't universal, but okay, profile won't work. No VPVR. Okay. Kind of hard to do this in that case. Let me pull up a... There we go. Okay. Now I can pull the profiles. All right. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. So, yeah, I mean, based off this 90-minute money flow crossover, I'll be honest. Interesting. This whole 90-minute money flow cross. I mean, I would potentially, with that confirmed daily red dot, 2-day red dot coming down. Again, I'm not as familiar with how Forex moves. I don't look at it as often, but if we lose that POC, I would look for a move down to about $1.08. Lose that, probably coming down to, oh, God, yeah, this is... I would probably watch this. High volume node here. Also POC of this range, very likely. Yep. So, yeah, you get this high volume node down here at 108. Bada boom. So, yeah, these are some key levels I would look at, but this is probably the that's the local range I would look at, and I would also keep a close eye on this previous area of balance here. What happens? Yeah, I would also keep an eye on this, right? It's kind of, yeah, actually, you know what? I would keep an eye on just this. So right here, these are the levels I would look at, right? So, because you can see this range was respected, right? We tested the value area low, couldn't get above. Once you got above that value area low, you went right to the value area high, held the POC, breakout. So if you do continue down off that money flow coming out with the daily red dot and you get stuck underneath that value area high, I would look to come back down and fill this range. This is a key level. If you lose this level, could be a pretty quick nuke down to 107,387. So there you go. There's my stab at 4XTA for you. Hopefully it was helpful. Yeah, money flow coming out on the 80-minute as well, 45-minute. Yeah, that's for sure what I would be looking at on Euro USD. Real quick, let's take a look at INJ. Bada boom, bada bing. All right. Oh, baby, INJ making a run for it. Making a run for the value area high. And this is why, I'm going to get rid of this blue box. I mean, you can't make it up, guys. You really can't make it up. You got to believe in the volume profiles because they are absolutely goated. Don't take it from me. Take it from the volume profile themselves. Break above the low, retest to the value area low. Hold of support, big move. Where do you go? Right to the POC. Oh, no, we front ran the value area high. Nope, no worries. We'll go tap it. Don't worry. Almost every single time you do wind up getting the touch. So there you go. Beautiful, nice little respected range here on INJ. Yeah, and if we continue to break out, you have this nice little value area just above, right? So if you're able to break above the level of 27, I would call it 27.10, 27.18, right? Just above us, you know, some key levels above, right? You get above this, start flipping the value, bounce off the value area high, could be headed to about $28 to $30 for INJ, in my opinion. Now, is it? Yeah. I mean, maybe you come right up, 29 bucks. Green dot printing on the 4-hour gives you the pop to the upside. Bearish divergence cools you off, and then maybe you get the bigger move up. I wouldn't hate that. But, yeah, key level above. That's what I would look for. Green dot could bring you up to this POC at about $29, potentially the value area high. But I would be careful as the daily VWAP is still coming down, right? So we do get a pull up locally here. This is the setup right now. If that 4-hour gives you the higher high into one of those key levels, right, and you get the bearish divergence, that's where you would look for the cool-off, right? Because that daily red dot is going to print somewhat soon, probably, right? So maybe you come up a little bit locally, put in the high, and then the red dot starts printing, 90-minute money flow starts coming out, and you get the bigger pullback. But again, not to zero, just another bigger retracement. And that's what I would look for, in my own personal opinion, on INJ. So there you go. These are the key levels. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. So yeah, definitely at resistance. The nice thing is once you break out of resistance, you're breaking above just another doorway to higher prices. But watch out for that bear div on the 4-hour. Even the 2-hour could be setting up nice for that as well, right? A little something like that. So there you go. That is what I would be looking at. Thoughts on Rune? Shout out to Robert. Let's check out Rune real quick. Oh, yeah, shout out to Origin, Matic. We'll take a look at Matic. We talked about that way earlier. We didn't talk about Matic, but we talked about looking at Matic. And, yes, I will take a look at it for you. No worries. We have not taken a look at Rune in quite some time. I'm going to go ahead and clear most of these levels, get rid of all this old stuff. Bada boom. I mean, I will say this, just by the looks of it here. Where's this profile pulled on the 4-hour? No. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick. Pull up the daily. Come on. Come on, volume profile. You can do it. I know you can. There you go. So here's your previous range. I mean, you can't make it up. I mean, this happened a while ago now, but, you know, it's that idea of price always hunting balance, right? You had balance in the bull market, or not the bull market. Yeah, in the bull market of 2021, right? You had the bull market, came down into the bear market, found your imbalance. Where is price going to go? It's going to find that previous area of balance. And right now, this actually looks pretty good in my opinion, just because you are back above that macro value area low, which was the doorway to higher prices as we looked at last time. And what happened? We wound up bringing us right to that value area. Why did that just move? There we go. Okay. Just like this was the doorway to higher prices, right? Doorway to lower prices if we break it, right? But on the way up, it's the doorway to higher prices. You break it, and then you're looking for it to bring you above that value area low to the POC and then back up to the value area high. And what happens? You get the move to the POC, rejection, hold it as support, then you get the move to the value area high. And then you go to deviate above the high, you're looking for shorts, acceptance back into the range, back to the POC, back to the low, deviation, right? And what happens on that deviation? You get a bounce back in, probably had a long entry, and you could look for higher prices now. So right now, if things remain bullish, right, regardless of, maybe some small pullbacks, maybe you lose the range one more time, but, regardless of the noise that you get, if the 12 and 16-hour money flow continue into the green, you would have to look at this as lackluster pullbacks to put in higher lows and continue to the upside. Right there. $6.29 is your POC. That would be the next major target for Rune, in my opinion, and this money flow does look pretty good, in my own personal opinion. Doesn't mean you can't have short-term pullbacks, right? A lot of people will think, oh, he said money flow crossover, long, and then they get a pullback, and they're like, what happened? Well, you have to understand the difference between money flow and VWAPs, right? Your VWAP is crossing over the zero line, about to, right, looking for a red dot, which is likely to give us a lackluster pullback before putting in a higher low and continuing up. So you don't necessarily want to long here and go for that ride. You want to wait for a pullback and then look for the higher low and a move back to the upside. And you might think to yourself, well, Frankie, how do I know where price is going to pull back and where should I be looking for a long? Well, we could use Lux Algo to help us out with that. And if we go ahead and pull some local Fibonacci retracements, right, we'll pull it from all the way on the low, right? And this is going to be, for a full retracement. But you have the value area low there. So I'm going to pull this local. I'll pull this local fib, right? And now we're on the 12-hour. Let's come on over to something like the 4-hour. Let's check the 8-hour. Yeah, so, I mean, I would be looking to here, right? Value area low is absolutely your key level of support, right? If you come back down, you do not want to lose that value area low. But, I would be looking at this Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786 retracement sitting right here as key support as well, right? So, Golden Pocket 786, value area low, key support. But you can see the Lux Algo Smart Trail coming right through here. Chances are, if we wind up pulling back, this will probably move up a bit. So if we go ahead and we pull this fib to a local pull, right? Maybe you pull back, and as you're pulling back here, this Smart Trail is coming up as well. This is where you want to look for the entry, right? Pull back into a golden pocket. If that Smart Trail is confluent, that might be a good place, right? It gives that nice little chef's kiss on that entry. We talk about this all the time. I have a tutorial showing you guys how to use this actual entry model. And shout out to Tony D. If you could drop that in the chat, if you could find it. That could be very helpful, right? If you're looking to use Lux Algo to find those lows or those areas to buy the dip or look for longs. And if you don't have Lux Algo, you can always use the Fibonacci retracements. The Smart Trail does just give a nice little added level of confluence for a very high probability trade. And if you guys want to sign up for Lux Algo, you can check the link in the description down below. Thank you to Lux Algo. They're one of the sponsors of our channel. We appreciate everything you guys do. And we're going to be making some Lux Algo content coming up pretty soon, guys, going over the indicators, kind of how I use them, some of the key things that I like to look at. And how you can use it to make money. So keep a lookout for that. But with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate everybody sticking around all the way through the technical difficulties and all that good stuff. But thank you guys. Hang on, guys. We have to take a look at Matic. I keep forgetting Matic. I apologize. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look at Matic here, and then we'll sign off. I'm not gonna lie, that power outage just totally threw me off my game here. But let's see here. Let's pull off all the indicators real quick. So Matic. I'm actually going to take a look at Matic, not on this chart. Let's take a look at Matic on this chart. Matic Binance. All right, we'll just take a quick look at this. Okay. Man, what happened? I think my charts got deleted. Where is my Matic chart? All right, well, I guess we'll just use this because I guess my chart is just gone forever. What are we doing here? All right, remove drawings. Here we go. Okay, so on Matic, here we are. Yeah, I mean, we're testing the value area low here. Let's pull up the money flow real quick. Yeah, red dot on the daily. You know, another pullback is not unlikely here. And to be honest with you guys, they're really, I mean, you did have a slight bullish divergence here. It's really not the prettiest. Really not the prettiest. You know, it is there, right? It is there. It didn't really give us a strong bounce. And I'll be honest, I don't love the way this looks right now. Money flow coming back out. Red dot on the daily. If we dip these lows, that may be a little bit of a nicer kind of bull div to look for. Because this bull div is not that great looking, to be honest. So if you can get that lower low, that higher low, that may be a good time to look for an entry. That's assuming if you do go down there. There's no guarantees you get down to that level. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm kind of annoyed that I can't find my charts here. I don't know what happened to them. It's definitely not this. I mean, I guess I could use this. Oh, my God. No way. We came down to tap that high volume node perfectly. Come on, volume. Dang. Well, okay. Tap that HVN to the absolute tick. Beautiful. But yeah, I'd be careful. Daily red dot. I mean, is that red dot a, is this a blood diamond? No blood diamond. Okay. So yeah, I mean, very simply put, I would be cautious of another pullback here. If I'm being quite honest, we have some work to do. We got to come up way higher here, for me to start feeling good about this. Yeah, like no real sign of strength here, in my opinion, right? Like it's just lower high, at this point, lower high, right? So like this is not something I'd be looking, yeah, I would let the dust settle here. Not that I'm not bullish on Matic. I think Matic will do very well, but as of right now, I'd like to see what this red dot on the daily does first before looking for a move, which is very interesting because a lot of this other stuff looked not as bad. Yeah, like I&J pushing into that value area high and Matic just like falling asleep here. But yeah, I would see what that red dot gives you. 12 and 16-hour money flow still look good, right? So we can start get those green dots, start getting the party going here. I would be looking for a move up. Next key levels to look at is going to be around 67 cents. That's where the next heavy level of resistance would be, in my opinion. So with all that being said, that is actually all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Now I appreciate everybody for sticking around for that last minute Matic TA. Shout out to Dave Digital. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. I appreciate you for tuning in, bro. Let's see. Could you please do a video on Lux Algo Oscillator since it is a low price entry for most people for money flow? Shout out to Do or D3W. Yes, we will be. I will probably make it like an overall video, and then we'll touch on the oscillator matrix in that video, and then I'll probably make a video separate, kind of going deeper into the oscillator matrix as well. But yeah, with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Let's see what Bitcoin does next. If you're just tuning in and you're curious on my thoughts on Bitcoin, go ahead and scroll to the beginning of the stream. I cover everything, the long term, the short term, the micro term, the medium term, the higher medium term, the lower medium term. We look at all the scenarios and kind of what I'm feeling overall. So let's see if we can get up to that $67,000 level and see if we can't push through it or if we're going to see that higher time frame money flow play out and give us that bigger dump to the downside. But either way, we'll see you here tomorrow, guys. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. Longest short stream ever. Shout out to Jay Violet. We're always breaking those records every single day here. So thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, all they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up. up, whose man's high? Through it all, I stay the same. I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right. I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life. I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose, and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Yeah, I just need a refill. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just albuterol sulfate. Yeah, it's like a yellow inhaler. Okay, I can pick it up tomorrow morning. Okay, because I'm a YouTuber and I do this. I do a show and everyone's making fun of me. They keep calling me Wheezy. Is there any way I can get that tonight? Okay. All right. Did you say shut up, nerd? What's wrong with people? Hey, shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Said everyone here right now, you're the true OGs. Shout out to CandleMafia. Shout out to the hashtag CandleMafia. Shout out to all the OGs. And shout out to Bubba's Crypto. I appreciate you for being here, bro. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Shout out to Hannah King for making a return. And shout out to Dave Digital. I appreciate you guys for being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know the rest. I'm not a nerd. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong. And the stream deck's still broken.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand, like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put